There is currently tension in ASO-VILLA, Nigerian seat of power in Abuja, the nation's capital, as fresh power tussle between Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, the President of Nigeria, personal assistant and private secretary, Tunde Yusuf, and the wife of the President, AISHA Buhari. According to some findings by Sahara reporters, trouble started on Monday when Yusuf returned from a trip to Lagos, where he had journeyed alongside 5 women from Daura, Kano, and Abuja to spend the weekend. Now, upon his return to the villa, he was asked by President Buhari's aide-de-camp, Mohammed Lawal Abubakar, Chief Personal Security Officer Abdul Karim Dauda, to self-isolate in order to protect the president and the entire State House staff, since he had earlier met with recent contacts of late former Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Maikanti Baru, who passed away recently from coronavirus-related complications. Now, Tunde Yusuf, President Buhari's aide, and AISHA Buhari seems as if they are not, having a kind of understanding amongst themselves. And unfortunately, this young man, Tunde Yusuf, did not heed the advice of the First Lady and the men working with the First Lady by embarking on a 14-day self-isolation. Rather, Yusuf claims to be one of the most powerful and influential individuals around President Buhari, flatly refused and pushed his way forcefully into the villa. Worried that his presence could expose them to danger, the first family intervened in the matter on Thursday, but rather than a solution being arrived at, things quickly spilled out of control after the security attached to the First Lady, AISHA Buhari, moved in and had Yusuf removed from the presidential villa. Now, feeling slighted by that incident, the young man, said to be in his early 30s, connived with Buhari's chief security officer, Idris Kasim, to have the Federal Capital Territory Commissioner of Police, Bala Siroma, arrest the First Lady's ADC, Usman Shugaba, escort commander, and other policemen attached to the First Lady's family. According to Sahara reporters, it is reliably gathered that all the arrested security attaché to the First Lady are still in police cell on the orders of the CSO to the President and Yusuf. Now, a source in the villa who confirmed the development to Sahara reporters said, since the death of late Chief of Staff to President Buhari, Abakari, Yusuf had almost become the de facto head of state, calling the shots in ASO-VILLA. The ADC and escort commander of the First Lady were unlawfully detained by the FCT Commissioner of Police under the instructions of the Chief Security Officer to the President, Mr. Idris Kasim and Yusuf. Yusuf, in flagrant disregard of the Quarantine Act signed by the President, which prohibited interstate travels, and in clear violation of the NCDC protocols and guidelines, traveled to Lagos and he had seen visitors of more than 15 people every day against the advice of the people he's working with. Now, after his refusal to heed the call by the president's security men on Thursday evening, the first family got involved and insisted that he goes on self-isolation. And again, for the second time, he refused. Now, what does this tell you? There is no control. There is no order in ASO-VILLA. In fact, people are saying there is no precedent. The first family recalled to him when one of the daughters of the president returned from school in London and had to undergo 14 days isolation. They said if she could do that, why couldn't he do the same? When the situation was getting out of hand, the security attached to the First Lady had to intervene peacefully. Yusuf left the State House only for him and the President's CSO to give directives to the FCT Police Commissioner to arrest the First Lady ADC. The protocols of the First Lady are still in the police detention, as we say. Regarded as one of the wealthiest young men in Nigeria today, this is serious. Yusuf, until his appointment by President Buhari, was said to be surviving on proceeds made from the sale of call cards in his native Daura. But fortunately for him, somehow, if I might use this, he came in to join. He was in a small community in Katsina State in the northern part of Nigeria selling call cards. He is said to have gotten the name Tunde after being likened to late Tunde Idiagbo, Buhari's second in command during his military regime in the early 1980s, who was known to be a powerful and strategic person. During Buhari's 77th birthday, sometime December 2019, Yusuf is said to have won a Patek Philippe leather wristwatch valued at $99,000, and that's about 36 million naira. That is what he put on. This is the man that was selling recharge cards. So tell me where he got this from. Is this a gift or money, free money that they are getting all around ASO? Probably someone needs to speak to Buhari. He will say, don't worry, I'm going to pass your whatever it is to Buhari or whoever. I'm going to connect the right people. Just give me this. I don't know. Presidency sources said that this young man has amassed so much wealth in a short space of time that he can almost afford anything money can buy this day, despite not from a wealthy background or having any known work history apart from serving in Buhari's government for how many years? Just for a short period of time. That tells you if this young man can amass this amount of wealth within 5 years or 4 years and thereabout, within that short period of time, if he could put on a Philippe Patek wristwatch within that short period of time, it tells you what is going on in this regime, in this administration and previous government of Nigeria. That tells you that a lot is going down. Despite all these glaring excesses and abuse for laid down procedure, President Buhari has refrained from calling Yusuf to order. It was gathered. Interestingly, it is not the first time that individuals in the presidency will be flexing muscles against AISHA Buhari and her family. In December 2019, for instance, Mrs. Buhari accused senior special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, as well as Maman Daura, a nephew and close ally of her husband, of working against the first family. She said that while Daura had continued to give give presidential directive without Buhari's knowledge, Shehu had switched his loyalty from her husband to some cabals within the presidency. In a strong worded statement, Mrs. Buhari disclosed how Shehu had contributed to soiling her name. She said at the time, as spokesperson for the president, he has the one onerous responsibility of managing the image of the president and all the good works that he is executing in the country. Rather than face this responsibility squarely, he has shifted his loyalty from the president to others who have no stake in the compact that the president signed with the Nigerians on May 29, 2015 and 2019. To make matters worse, Mr. Shehu has presented himself to these people as a willing tool and executioner of their antics from the corridors of power, even to the level of interfering with the family affairs of the president. This should not be so. The blatant meddling in the affairs of a first lady of a country is a continuation of the prodigal actions of those that he serves. Based on Garba Shehu's misguided sense of loyalty and inability to stay true and loyal to one person or group, it has become apparent that all trust has broken down between him and my family due to the many embarrassments he has caused the presidency and the first family. This is AISHA Buhari saying this. Well, it's so sad. It's so terrible. All this shows that in reality, what Professor Wole Soyinka said recently, that Buhari is not in charge, he just doesn't want to drop it and say Buhari is dead. You can be alive and dead if you don't, a lot of people are saying, no, he's not dead and all of that. You can be alive, but dead. And aside this also, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, he has said it several times. He said, Buhari is dead. How can there be a president up and doing, healthy, a president that thinks, reason properly? How can all of this be happening all over him? I understand that he cannot get himself involved in everything, issues here and there. I understand all of this, but how can this be happening? This simply puts and shows that there is no leadership in the country at all, because they say charity begins at home. Even in Aso Rock, even in his own family, things are not going in order. I do not know, probably he doesn't want to care to speak, respond to AISHA Buhari in some issues that has been raised to him or whatever it is. I know that this is an internal issue, but because he has said maybe that his wife belongs to the kitchen and the other room, simply put, my wife has no say in this government. It is going to be a patriarchal kind of system where it's only what the man says and nothing more. Yes, I understand that AISHA Buhari's office is not a kind of elected position, but because being the wife of the president, I understand all of that. But then there are points, there are things, issues that are kind of, that are spewing out every now and then that shows to us that there is no control, there is no law and order in ASO-VILLA. And this spills down to the nation and it's affecting everybody.